Hey crew, Josh here. In this video, I'm going to answer the question, how do I know I've nailed my big idea? So let me set the scene for you. You have finished your triangle model and you're really happy with it. You've built these modules around the edge that are just beautiful. And you've laid out all of the planets for each of those modules. Now you're looking at this worksheet here, really great worksheet, and you've decided on the frustrations, wants and mistakes. You've done your wireframe. You're now looking at the what frame and you're trying to come up with the big idea for the module, right? Or for the planet. Now the purpose of a what frame is to shift someone from closed-minded through to open-minded, so they'll do the thing that you're telling them to do in the how frame. Now, when Taki and I work together, Taki will often come to me and say, right, I know what it is they need to do. What I really need to work on is the big idea to get them to do the thing. We often spend more time on the big idea and the metaphor and the model than we do on the thing they need to do, because Taki knows what it is they need to do. When you're building your big idea, I see a lot of coaches get confused between what are the mistakes, which is the coach diagnosis of what's going wrong, with the big idea that opens somebody's mind. What I want to do today is give you a couple of clues to make this easier. What will happen is if you look at the list of frustrations that you have built, what you'll see is a big fat list of the client externalizing the problem. They will deny, they will blame, they will justify, but they won't take responsibility for their part in creating the problem in the first place. If you do your big idea correctly, it will shift them into responsibility. And the fingers will stop pointing out there and the fingers will start pointing back at them going, oh, jeepers, I've actually caused the problem myself. The cool thing is once they take responsibility for causing the problem, well, then they also have responsibility to act on fixing the problem. And the great thing is you've got an activity in the how frame ready to go. Great, now you're taking responsibility, do this, and all of those frustrations will dissolve. So what you've got to do is say something or show something that moves them into responsibility. Make sense? Now, I call this getting off the complaint train and onto the right track. It could be anything. It could be statistics or numbers. I was working with a client today, super smart person in Taki's boardroom, and she said, guys, what you got to realize is all of you want to do marketing to get new leads. But you got to realize that it takes 5 to 6 times more money to get a new client than it does to sell something to an existing client. It's 5 to 6 times cheaper to get a current client to buy something. So we could throw all of your money at marketing, which may or may not work, but it'd be better just to start by having a look at your current database and seeing what we could sell to them. Is it okay if we do that first? And of course, her clients are going to be like, of course we're going to do it. So that's the thing that Rachel says to get them to stop looking out there and to start looking with what's right in front of them. A metaphor that another boardroom member would say about that is, guys, there's diamonds in your own backyard, right? Stop searching off in the mountains for diamonds. There's diamonds in your own backyard. So that's how to use numbers to create an insight. Another insight, if you watch the last video I made, which is around how to get your signature system as good as clients, when I was talking about the delivery of it in a sales context, and I learned this from Taki, is to stop teaching your model and start using it to stretch the gap between where they are now and where they want to be. So in a sales context, it's a stretching the gap model, and in a delivery context, it's a closing the gap model. That's the insight. So when you're selling, stop teaching. Cool? So whatever your insight is going to be is up to you as long as it shifts them into responsibility. So come up with your big idea, and if you can add a metaphor and add a model to really land 1, 2, 3 punch for your insight, it's going to be even more powerful. So hopefully that helps when it comes to answering the question, how do I make sure I've nailed my big idea? Best of luck.